Hello and welcome to the Socially Holistic podcast. This is episode number 5, and I'm really excited about today's guest. We have Linda Ursin, who is a magical life coach. So welcome, Linda.
Thanks, Holly.
Thank you so much for being here. Could you tell us a little bit about your background?
Well, I was born and raised in Sweden, and I dropped out, moved to another city at 19 and met my husband. Didn't finish school until I was 30, and worked computer support and server maintenance after that. I got married in 2006, hand-fasted in 2007, and a friend of ours flew over from Ireland to officiate at the ceremony. We had our daughter in October 2007. She started school yesterday.
How exciting.
And since 2012, I've been on a disability and growing my business even more since I have more time.
Great. So tell us a little bit about your business journey and how you got to where you are, because you've recently started to focus more on working with people with severe and long-term illnesses, haven't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
After moving to the other city and meeting my husband, I was unemployed for a long time, a total of 8 years, I think. And during that period, I developed a chronic joint pain problem. Started in my fingers and it spread since. That is about 20 years ago now. And when that happened, I didn't have any money since I was unemployed. So I started researching herbs to find a free solution to pain. And when I did, I stumbled across some old black books in the library. In Sweden, they still have them from 1500s, and I've been a witch ever since. I learned on my own for 9 years without any modern books or internet, and then I found peers online in 2003. So I started my blog and website back then, and I first started out selling amulets, readings, other services in a web shop. But in 2010, Harry Potter sort of fell out of fashion, so the bottom fell out of that market. I started focusing more on my art in May of 2011, and then introduced coaching in November of 2011.
Okay.
So, after that, I rebranded twice. I went from the web shop pagan thing to the Sassy Girl website. But that didn't live for long before I rebranded to the website I have now at lindaursin.net.
Okay. And the Sassy Girl website, I remember that from earlier this year. What was that about?
Standing up for yourself, taking time out for you. It sort of lacked... It had a piece of me, but it didn't have the other pieces, so it didn't feel complete. So that's why I brought in more elements like the artwork and the witchy part. So that's pretty much why I did that.
Okay, so you feel like your current website really reflects kind of the holistic version of yourself, just all different aspects that...
Yeah, as much as possible. You can't really put Viking reenactment in there. It doesn't really fit.
No.
But it's a lot better now. I feel I can express my creativity and paganism without being careful of what I say.
And do you feel like people are receptive to the pagan side of you?
Yeah, it seems to be, because I focus on those who have some knowledge of the pagan community, so they aren't freaked out by the words witch or heathen. Because I feel it takes a little bit too long to try to explain and convert people to understanding what I mean by that. So instead of just focusing on how I can help them.
And how do you work those aspects of your experience into your work with your clients?
So if in my longer programs, it's more like if they need a reading to get some clarity, that's what they'll get. That's the more of the magic part, and the rituals. We all have some kind of rituals. Yep. And you can a spell you can call an affirmation, so it's sort of just interwoven, and the herbs come through in advice on how to handle health issues.
Okay.
The artwork shows up here and there in PDFs.
Okay. Interesting. So I see that you do runes and tarot readings. And so would you be working, for example, with a client with chronic pain and using those tools to kind of help figure out the best way for them to manage their issues?
If I feel it's necessary and if they feel it's okay for them, then I would add a reading to it.
Okay.
Just to bring some more clarity to the process.
Okay, so what are the biggest challenges that you've overcome in your business as you've grown it to where it is today?
Rebranding without losing people.
And how did you manage to do that successfully?
I don't know if I can say how, I just did it. Those who had been following me for a long time, they knew who I was, they knew what I was about, so they just welcomed it more to see the whole picture instead of bits and pieces.
Okay. So you feel like they really welcomed the fact that you're showing more of yourself online?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been totally transparent on social media and stuff, so they knew what they were getting.
That's good, that's good. What do you love most about your business?
That I can spend my days talking to like-minded women and that I can be myself 100%, helping women do what I did without spending 20 years.
Yeah, that's good, that's good. Now, what does a typical workday look like for you?
After I get my daughter off to school, I jump on the computer and get going on what needs doing. Mm-hmm. It's sort of different for every day. It could be product creation, social media, videos, articles, editing the book that's coming out, blogging, painting.
And what book is coming out?
It's a book on herbs. It's called Wonderful Weeds, The Forgotten Resource.
Ooh.
And I initially planned to just put it out as an ebook, but I've found a way to get it in print as well.
Excellent. Are you going to go with a print-on-demand option?
Yeah, CreateSpace.
Oh, good.
Is an Amazon solution that I think I'll be using because I get to keep all my rights.
Yes. I really think that's the best way to go. I've been discussing book publishing with a friend of mine who wants to do a book, and she said, oh no, I really want to go with a traditional publisher because I think it gives credibility. And I thought, it's real. The publishing world is just really, really starting to steer away from that, and I think people that are self-publishing really do not have any less credibility because if the content is great, that's really what's important.
Yeah, the big names are going with self-publishing and print-on-demand as well now.
Yeah.
So the world is changing.
It is, and especially I think publishing is changing in huge ways.
Oh yeah.
So
it makes it possible for regular people to actually publish. And I have other books on my list, on my to-do list as well.
Excellent. And how long have you been working on this book, The Wonderful Weeds?
Well, I wrote an article for Witchbox that got featured on this subject, and it was, I think it was 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. And somebody threw out the idea that, you should write a book on this. And I put it on the shelf because I had too much to do, and then I think I got started on it in March, putting it together. I had 25 articles on my blog that I used as material and then rewrote it to fit into a book. And then I added my own paintings as illustrations. Ooh,
lovely. Did you add paintings of herbs or related things?
Yeah, I did watercolor paintings of the weeds that are discussed in the book, and then another one for the cover.
Ooh, lovely. And when is that expected to come out?
Whenever the editors get finished. I will be finished by today, but I didn't hear back from them. So if I don't hear anything within a week, I'm going ahead anyway.
Excellent. Well, I look forward to seeing that.
A mistake or two can't be that bad.
Yeah, no, that's good. And that's great that you're working with editors because I think a lot of times we get so wrapped up in our own writing that we don't see the mistakes because we know what it's supposed to say.
Yeah, that's one plus of having the IT education. You know what happens when you miss something in programming. You spend your days looking for that small little comma that got away.
And how else do you think that your background in IT has helped you with what you're doing today?
Forced me to learn some patience. 8 years on computer support phones does that to me.
That's great. And do you work a lot with women in business that are suffering from chronic pain and health issues?
I don't really focus on what they do. It's more how they feel, that they sort of feel their body let them down, that they don't have enough time to do what they want to do, have trouble taking time up for themselves.
Okay.
And I bet that there are a lot of women in business doing that too.
Yes, I can imagine. People are just kind of pushing through beyond the pain and beyond the health issues and kind of forcing themselves to go on with life.
Been there, done that.
So what are your top tips for people who are suffering with health issues that are perhaps chronic and they're just kind of forcing themselves to go on? What would you recommend for them?
To clean up that to-do list, get rid of everything that doesn't have to be there. If other people are lazy, they can do it themselves, so you don't have to do it for them. And learn to listen to your body, find out what makes things feel worse. If it's something you eat makes you feel horrible the next day, then try to change that. Take a break now and then. Do something fun.
Yeah, I think a lot of people
recharge.
Yes. I think a lot of times people get so wrapped up with the day-to-day lives that they forget that they need to recharge their batteries. It's like they just keep running and running and running and running, and they've got this momentum built up until they finally crash and burn.
Yeah, running on fumes until there's nothing left.
No, not good.
I really like the spoony theory. I forget the name. Christine something wrote it. When you have a chronic illness, you have a set number of spoons for the day of energy, and you better use them for something good. Exactly. Because you're not getting any more. It's like you only have 24 hours in a day.
Right.
You're not getting 25.
No matter how much you want that extra hour. So I think it sounds like prioritizing would also be a really important thing for people that do have limited, I mean, obviously we all have limited energy reserves, but if someone's suffering from chronic pain and illness, you've obviously got perhaps less energy than the average person. Yeah. So do you help
prioritize even harder?
Yeah, exactly. So do you work with people to help them figure out what the most important things are?
Yeah, one trick is to write down your priorities on a list, and then you take the first two, put them up against each other, which one is more important to you. Okay. And then you continue doing that until there's just one left.
And then just focus on that one priority for the day?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. I think so many people that are overwhelmed just have no idea. It's like they've got this massive to-do list, and they've got to do all of these things, and they don't know where to start, so they just kind of do, I don't know, a little bit of each, or they just kind of dive into it, and they don't focus on priorities. I think it's a huge problem that I see with people.
Or they end up doing nothing at all.
Exactly, because they're so overwhelmed.
All day.
They're so overwhelmed, they just sit there and do nothing.
Yeah.
So what would you say are the top business tools that you use the most that help you?
Business tools, I don't use that many, but Trello is really good for keeping that to-do list in check, and Hootsuite for scheduling things instead of sitting there and doing it yourself.
Yes, that's excellent.
I use WordPress for my blog and websites, and I found a free email handler, that's what you call it, called Wisija.
Okay.
It's a way to get autoresponders without paying MailChimp.
Oh, interesting. Okay, great. I'm going to have to get that website from you for the show notes so we can recommend that. Yeah. And how long have you been using that?
I switched from MailChimp in April, I think. I haven't had any problems with Wisija, and I feel I can customize my emails a lot more. Oh, good. That's really good to hear. Because I think MailChimp is fairly easy to use, but I still come across people who are really struggling with it at first. Yeah, unless you know HTML and CSS, it's a struggle to get it customized to where you like what it looks like. That's one of my problems with MailChimp, not getting it to look the way I want it to look. Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of people struggle with that at the start. But what about outsourcing? Do you outsource any parts of your business? I would like to. I don't do it at the moment. I would love to outsource the bookkeeping, but that's
That
very costly in Norway.
I think we had this discussion online at one point, or I saw you discussing, or I don't know. I seem to remember someone saying that it was very, very costly to outsource that part of the business.
Yeah, it is. I once did a Freudian slip and called it boo-keeping. That's I took 1.5 years of economics in college, and there's a good reason I dropped out. I don't want to do that.
I think a lot of us don't enjoy that part of the business.
Yeah, but I do it myself for the moment.
Okay.
And then I would love to outsource some of the copywriting, especially sales pitches.
Mm.
I don't really like writing those.
Excellent. Do you have any business mentors? Are there any women in business that inspire you?
I don't have a mentor at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I worked with Amethyst Mahoney for a while.
Uh-huh.
Around New Year's, and but business women who inspire me, you could say Laura Hollick, Christina Morassi, Joe DeJealous, the charismatic women of business.
Yes. And what is it about them that inspire you the most?
The way they step out as themselves, not taking shit from people. Just being themselves 100%, going full steam ahead.
Excellent. And I feel like they're also women who are very, very authentic online.
Yeah, they're very authentic, and all of them are very creative people.
Mm.
Laura Hollick is also, or first and foremost, an artist.
Mm-hmm.
So she creates a lot of fantastic pictures.
And she also does kind of an online painting course, doesn't she? Or am I confusing her with someone else?
Soul art.
Yes.
Yeah, that's. I think that's a coaching education.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So finding yourself and your goals through art.
Hmm. Very interesting. And do you ever work with art with your clients?
I have a program coming up as soon as I get to write it about exploring your creativity. And then I'm doing a creativity challenge later this year where people will have to create something and show it off every day.
Oh, how exciting.
Amethyst's idea.
Oh.
Oh, why don't you do a creativity challenge?
I like that. So you're going to create like a private Facebook group or something where people can share their things, or how are you?
Something like that.
Good. Sounds good. So
I'm also selling my own art on my gallery, but that's another topic.
Oh, and do you have that on your website, or are you using another site?
Yeah, it's on my website.
Oh, okay. I need to check that out. I don't remember seeing that. So let's talk a little bit about how you work with people. I see that you've got this 6-week magical life coaching program. How does that work?
So it's 5 steps and then a Q&A on cleaning up your to-do list, finding your priorities, your goals, finding your passions, and how to bake that into what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if I can. That's one thing I wasn't prepared to talk.
Sorry.
Bring out the outline program.
And when clients come...
It's about the 5 steps are a little sassy still. So stop pussyfooting around and make time for you already.
Mm-hmm.
And then body, spirit, and soul, how to turn your home and life into a sassy oasis. So it's a little bit about listening to your body and what it needs instead of what society thinks you need.
Mm.
And dumping the shoulds and start reaching for your big goals.
Mm-hmm.
And then putting it all together. And finishing off with addressing the haters.
Excellent.
How to deal with those who don't agree with what you do.
Excellent.
Or how you do.
And so tell us a little bit more about how you work your Wicca and pagan background into your work with your clients, because I think that's really a huge part of what makes your work unique. And I perhaps there are other coaches out there that work with that, but I think this is really kind of your unique aspect. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
I'm not a Wiccan, but
sorry.
Heathen. But it's sort of you don't have this all-seeing God. So it's more about the down-to-earth stuff, becoming one with your body, spending time in nature, learning ways to overcome your obstacles, ritualizing or putting things into systems,
Ah, okay.
And the meditation, all of that.
Mm-hmm. So
I don't really have the words for it.
that's fine. No, that's fine. I think these are all things that it seems to me that go really, really well with your target market of clients and people who are suffering with chronic health issues.
Yeah. I chose chronic health issues because first and foremost, I want to talk to people who are sort of on my level spiritually, but also I want to help those who are struggling with chronic illnesses and similar challenges. If they have special needs children that sap their energy or whatever it is, there are a lot of women, especially, who have these energy drains at some point in their lives, and this just help them to get out of it without it taking forever.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. So I think it's really interesting what you said about ritual and how that helps with creating systems in life.
Yeah, you can say I can call it ritual, and another person can call it a system.
Mm-hmm.
It's a way of doing things, ritualizing it. It makes it easier to remember the steps. It makes it easier to get things done, to feel better about doing it. If you find the way you want to do it, it could be washing up. You can make washing up into a ritual if you want. I prefer a dishwasher.
So how do you work with clients to help them to create this ritual or the systems in their lives?
So first, you narrow down to what the tasks you do have to do yourself that other people can't do. It have to be done by you, and then you pick one and split it up into steps, and then you can tweak those steps to make them slightly less boring. And if you write it down as a system or a ritual, it sort of flows instead of standing there figuring out what I have to do next to get this done.
So you work a lot on kind of figure out how to help people get that flow into what they need to do.
Yeah, it makes things go smoother. Thereby you conserve energy for other activities.
Oh, I like that. Do you find that people with chronic pain and chronic health issues waste energy on a lot of things that they perhaps could be saving for other more important things?
Oh yeah, especially doing things for other people.
Really? Is that a big issue, would you say, with your clients?
I'd say self-sacrifice is definitely a big issue. Wives doing everything for their husbands instead of the husband doing it themselves. Picking up after grown children. Yeah, there are a lot of women put more on their lists than has to be there. It could be done by someone else. It doesn't have to get done. It could be delayed or dropped entirely. So I think it's sort of built into the way we work that we take on everything. Take responsibility for everything, and I think it's time to delegate some of that.
Yeah. Delegation is a really, really important technique to learn.
Yeah.
Excellent. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us about how you work with clients or how you help people or anything about what you do, any aspects of your business?
Well, I started something new a little while ago. I started a service, what I call a cup of tea.
Oh, yes, I saw that on your website. I love that. Is that...
Instead of the formal discovery or strategy session, we can just have a chat about something. Because sometimes all you need is that little bit of support.
I like that. I like that. So how do you run that? Is that on Skype, I assume?
It all depends on where in the world they are, but mostly Skype, yeah.
Excellent. I like that. So do you find that clients, when they come to you for a cup of tea, they actually do sit down with a cup of tea?
I don't see them. So.
Oh, you don't. You just do audio. Okay. Because I find so often when I do sit down with a cup of tea, when I get on Skype to talk to a client or even to do a podcast interview, I feel like it just makes it so much more, I don't know, it's like it kind of helps the conversation flow. It just makes it so much more familiar.
No, it relaxes everything.
Yeah.
It takes it to a different level than this. If you have a strategy session, it's more they expect you to sell them something.
Right, right. And that makes it more kind of like getting to know each other, which is really what the whole point of those conversations are, because you want to know whether you're the right person for them and they're the right client for you. And
yeah, it's a different focus.
Yeah, it's like it takes the kind of the stress and good, I like that. Thank you for mentioning that, because I actually had that in my notes to mention to you, because I saw that and I really, really liked it. It sounds so much more kind of warm and fuzzy than a strategy session or a discovery session. So I like that. All right, well, why don't we wrap this up? Why don't you tell people where they can find you online, because I know you're very active on social media.
A bit too active.
I know, but I like seeing you online.
I've had to narrow it down to 6 social networks.
Wow.
From over 20 forums and a lot more. But my website is lindaursin.net.
Mm-hmm.
So lindaursin.net. And I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Pinterest, YouTube, and LinkedIn.
Okay.
So pretty much everywhere.
Yes, all the basic important places to be. All right, Linda. Well, thank you so much for joining us and for telling us about your background. And I love how you've turned this challenge that you had about living with chronic pain and creating a business around that so that you can help other women who have this problem. I absolutely love that. I really love it when people take their own life challenges and use those to kind of help other people.
Yeah, thanks for asking me to do this.
Oh, I loved having you. Thank you very much. I see you online so often that it was just great to finally speak with you and get to share your story with everyone else. So thank you.
Thank you. It was great talking to you too.
Thanks.